Okay, so thank you to Caleb who reminded me that I did not start recording yet. So all we're going to do is take brief notes, and I'm recapping. My guys that are in here, I'm just recapping for the video people who may just be watching it. We learned how to use the quadratic formula in yesterday's lesson. Today we are going to answer some questions where we don't have to use the whole quadratic formula. We're going to use a part called the discriminant. The discriminant is part of the quadratic formula. We can pull out of it and use it independently. So now you can see, let's go ahead and underline or highlight or something. If you've got a highlighter, I'd like for you to highlight the discriminant underneath here. Now, please note, I did not highlight the square root symbol. So when you highlight, do not highlight the radical or the square root symbol.
Whoops.
So here, this is not part of the discriminant. I don't know why I chose to put it over here. Let's see here on the Happy Friday. Is not part of the discriminant. So sometimes they're going to ask you, how many solutions are there to this quadratic equation? And this is the only part of it you have to use. Did you guys have any answers to last night's assignment that were no solution? Chicken shooting, no solution? I can look on here. Right. So the first part, I don't think you did. So remember, let's go ahead and put it in our notes. So the discriminant, the value of the discriminant will tell us, are we going to have one solution? Are we going to have two solutions? Or are we going to have no solution? So the value of the discriminant tells us if it's positive, some number besides 0, no negative. If it's positive, we're going to have two solutions. If it's 0, we're going to have one solution. And if it's negative, we have no solution. Now remember, you can also give this symbol, that's the null set, or the empty set. You can get that, or the words no solution. But you can't put a 0 if there's no solution. 0 is actually a solution, right? So you can't say that. The difference between 0 and empty set. Let me do an example. We're not going to write this, but this is the discriminant. It's saying it's greater than 0, which means it's positive. So we know we're going to have a parabola that crosses the x-axis in 2 spots. If the value of the discriminant is equal to 0, it's going to touch it only in 1 spot. And if it's less than 0, that means it's a negative. You can see it's either going to go open up, or it could possibly also have a vertex below and open down. Right? So that's what the graph looks like if there's 2 solutions, 1 solution, or no solution. You don't have to write that down. I just wanted to show you the visual.
Sweet graph.
No, we're not. Not today. Heavens to Murgatroyd back there. Okay, there we go. So find, let me see what the directions say on your homework, because I'll make sure we're saying it the same way. We look on the back. Okay, yeah, it's the same way. So on the back it says find the number of real number solutions of each equation. Make sure I'm not doing your homework. I didn't give you very many. Okay. So we're going to do this example. We want to know, actually, I don't want you to have all that. 3x squared plus 7x minus 4. 3x squared plus 7x minus 4 equals 0. Basically, how many solutions are there? In your notes it says how many real number solutions. And for our purposes, you don't have to worry about the real number part. But I want to give it to you the same way it looks in your notes, the same way it'll be on your test. How many real number solutions? So we're going to pretend we're going to use the quadratic formula here, because we are going to find our A, B, and C. I cannot write or do anything today. We're going to find A, B, and C. And we're going to plug into b squared minus 4ac. You don't have to use that whole quadratic formula if they just ask us how many solutions there are to the quadratic equation. What is my A, B, and C here? Aiden?
A is 3, and B is 7, C is 4.
Yes. So here, that was step 1. Step 2, b squared, so 7 squared minus 4 times A times C. So you can do all of this on your calculator. 7x squared minus 4 times 3 times 4 equals. Tell me what you get. What did you get? 97? I don't think so.
I got 1. I got maybe 4. I got 1.
All right, 7 squared minus 4 times 3 times 4 equals 1.
I got 1.
All right, so now 1 is the value of the discriminant. But 1 is not a solution to the equation. So there, 1 is a positive number. Based on it being a positive number, not being a 1 or a 10 or an 18 or a 500,000, because it's a positive number, now we know there are 2 solutions. Does that make sense? So we answer the question. The answer to this problem is 2 solutions, not 1, not that it's positive, but that there are 2 solutions. Yes. Let me look at this. that was an obnoxious sound. I'm sorry, I did not mean to do that.
You good?
Okay, I wanna, let's look at x squared plus, minus 8 plus 7, x squared, I'll do it, don't worry. X squared minus 8x plus 7, we'll write it bigger.
You good not to help?
X squared minus 8x plus 7 equals 0. It's in standard form, so we can find our A, B, and C. What's our A, B, and C, Caleb Berry?
A is positive 1, B is negative 8, and C is positive 7.
Okay. So now we're going to plug in, that's step 1. Step 2 is plugging into b squared minus 4 times A times C. Step 2,
Wouldn't it be negative 8 squared?
it would be.
And then minus 4 times 1 times 7.
So in our calculator, it's going to be 8 negative x squared minus 4 times 1 times 7.
36 positive
36. It's a positive. So once again, we have 2 solutions, right? All right. So let's see if I can shortcut to find one of the other times.
Yeah,
Just
we don't know what it is different. I want to see what
okay. You ready? Let's do 2x squared minus 5x plus 16 equals 0. So you guys try it. Find your A, B, and your C. Find your A, B, and your C. Then plug it into b squared minus 4ac. Do you know what the A, B, and C are, Armani? Do you know where they are, Ditash? Okay, are you not participating today? I was wondering, did you do it? Because your pencil's on the desk, I just noticed. You tell me what A, B, and C are, Aiden.
A, B, and C?
Mm-hmm.
A is 2, positive 2, and B is negative 5, and C is 16.
Okay, and what'd you get for the discriminant?
Negative 5 squared minus 4 times 2 times 16. And that equals negative 103.
Is that what you got? Is that what you got, Jacob? All right, so it's a negative number. It doesn't matter what the number is if it's negative. That's not part of our answer, right? So what's our answer?
No solution.
No solution.
We can write no solution. We can write that.
You can just write no solution. And we're going to do one more example, and then I'm going to give you the last 30 minutes to work on your homework.
Can we do one solution?
We're about to. You stole my thunder. I was going to be surprised, Aiden. Just teasing. Okay. So the next one, 3x squared plus 6x plus 3 equals 0. I lied. We're going to do one more example, but it'll be a quadratic formula example.
All right, can we do it on our own again? Right.
Yes, you can do it on your own again.
You should walk around.
Detash, do you know what the A, B, and C are? Perfect. So we're plugging into the formula. So this formula, I don't think they break it out on your reference sheet. Let me look in here and see. If you were absent yesterday, I passed out reference sheets that you guys would be able to use. Yeah, they don't break the discriminant out. You have to recognize it under the radical there.
It's 0.
Oh, it's 0. Sorry? B is not always negative. Alright, so B squared, 6 squared minus 4 times A times C, 36 minus 36 gives us 0. Let's look back here. What does it mean if it's 0? I don't know where we're at, but yes, it's one solution.
You were at the very beginning.
Okay. If it's 0, 0 means one solution. So the answer, if they ask how many solutions, is one solution. Alright, actually, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go back and do the problem that we found out had no solution, and I want you to see what it looks like if you have to solve it. If they don't ask you to find a discriminant, chances are you're not going to use a discriminant. You're just going to plug into the quadratic formula. Yes?
All these 3 problems right here are going to be like this.
Yes.
These 3 problems right
Yeah.
here.
Actually, we're going to do a different one. So the last one, I promise, I said only that one, but this is the last one. So this is different. So this is our last example. 6, and we're going to solve. That's all we're going to say. We're going to solve using the quadratic formula, but for right now I'm just going to say solve. So 6x squared plus x plus 12 equals 0. It's already in standard form. So my A, my B, and my C. DePaul?
6, 1, 12.
Okay. So now I'm not plugging in the discriminant. It didn't say how many solutions. It said solve. So that's different, right? It says solve, you plug in the quadratic formula. So remember, it's x equals the opposite of b plus and minus the square root of our discriminant, b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. So we're going to plug in x equals the opposite of 1 plus and minus 1 squared minus 4 times a times c. I want to let you guys catch up. Everybody know where I got all those numbers? All right, now it's over 2 times a, so it's always 2 times whatever a is. So now we're going to rewrite it. The opposite of 1 is negative 1 plus and minus. And this is where we're going to use our calculator. So anytime we're getting from here to here, we're just plugging it in our calculator. We're going to do 1, the x squared button, minus 4 times 6 times 12 and the equals button. Negative 287. Now, I just want you to, in your calculator, once you're finished writing that, before we do anything else, I want you to put 287, the negative button, and hit the square root symbol.
Error.
Yes, when you get that, you know that there's no solution. We can't take the square root of a real number, a negative real number, and so remember we're looking for real number solutions. So the answer here is no solution. You can stop here. You don't go any further.
Oh, easy to figure out.
Yep. If you notice that the b is really small, you might want to just use a discriminant. Here the b was only 1 and these were big positive numbers, so we were going to be subtracting a big number from a small number. 1 squared is just 1, right? So if b is 1 or 2 or even 3 and the other numbers are really big positive numbers, you may want to just use a discriminant first and see. Maybe you don't have to work the whole problem. But you're always still finding this, right? So if they ask you to solve, this is what a no solution problem looks like. And here we stop here. We don't go through and say x equals negative 1 plus and minus. Okay? If you have one solution, this will wind up being 0. All right? And so it'd be plus and minus 0. So you really only have one question, because anything plus or minus 0 is just that anything, right?
Sure.
So y'all can go ahead and do your homework.